Hi, how's it going?
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
Having a good hair day?
I am having a good hair day.
Me too,
You are
buddy.
too,
I know,
yeah.
right? It's good hair day. Is anyone else having a good hair day?
And you know what else it is?
What?
It is almost
Yes?
December.
Ooh, it's almost December.
You know what that means?
It's almost Christmas.
That's right.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it.
So excited.
Hey, everybody. Jump on, start a watch party. Reach out and yell at your friend and say, hey, they're live right now. They're going to answer questions. Go ask your question.
Tell us. Tell us where you're watching from.
Where are you right now in the world? What city? What county? What state? What country? Where are you? Settle in. Get comfy.
Yeah, settle in.
Settle in.
Settle in.
Get you a
comfy.
sparkling water.
Cheers.
And some meat skins.
You're not supposed to cheers with water.
If it's in crystal, you can. I don't know.
I don't know that this is crystal.
I think you probably can sparkling water. It's not still water.
Oh, no, okay. Make an exception.
Yeah, we'll make an exception.
We don't play by the rules anyway, so.
That's true, yeah.
Doesn't really matter. So, yeah, tonight we're just going to answer questions. This is kind of what we started, and then we started doing topics, but we think we're just going to do Q&As again like we used to do. And
yeah. We had a lot of people reach out and say, hey, do that again. Yeah. So we're going to try to answer as many questions as we can tonight. Type your question in the comments. Keep it as short as you possibly can, but yet with the relevant information. And we're going to try to answer a bunch of questions, because by answering your question, we'll probably answer the question of 100 more people and help everybody be healthier.
Yeah, and we can't answer every single question.
We're going to try.
No matter how much we try.
We're going to try.
But we're going to answer a lot of questions.
Absolutely. So ask us your questions.
All right, here.
Let's get going.
Roanoke, Virginia. New Jersey. Where else?
All right.
London. Hey.
We want to go back.
We miss London.
I knew you were going to say that.
No, shut up. North Carolina.
You like North Carolina?
We've only been for 24 hours, but yes, I do like North Carolina. Okay. All right. So here's a very common question we get asked a lot. Susan says, what do you think about drinking ketones?
Yeah, it's an excellent question. And Susan's talking about the exogenous ketones that you can buy in the form of drinks and powders. And some people even sell exogenous ketones in capsule form that you can just take in with water. So for the average person who's trying to lose weight or reverse chronic disease, I think that exogenous ketones are a complete and utter waste of money. Okay. And the people that prove it in other places, they cringe every time I say that, but they're not necessary. You don't need them. And I don't necessarily think they help you achieve your goals any faster at all. The goals they do help achieve is the people selling exogenous ketones. You help them achieve their goals, but I don't really think it helps you achieve yours. They
tend to be very expensive too, and we'd rather you invest your money into real food that is going to give you the same effects. Is it Ted Naiman? I think has a tweet that I retweet all the time that says, taking exogenous ketones is like pouring someone else's sweat on you and saying you had a good workout.
I love it. That's so true.
Because exogenous ketones will make you pee, into ketosis, but eating real foods will also do that and give you health benefits and all the things that nutritional ketosis is what we promote as opposed to that kind of ketosis.
Yeah, you want to actually be in ketosis. That's the goal, not to just have excess ketones in your body that you didn't make. That's not really the goal.
Hey, Puerto Rico. We miss Puerto Rico too.
I miss it worse than you.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Oh my goodness. All right, here's a good one. Scuba Cop says, can I fast when I'm exclusively breastfeeding my baby?
Yeah, it's an excellent question. I would not fast for longer than 18 hours at a time. When you're breastfeeding, make sure you're getting plenty of fluids, plenty of salt, eating lots of fatty meat. That's what's going to actually influence your milk supply. Would you agree?
Yes, and nursing frequently also boosts your supply, but I would also insist that if you are hungry, eat.
Yeah.
If you are not hungry, then continue to fast.
Yeah.
But the moment you feel hungry, you need to go ahead and eat because your body is telling you it needs energy. You're not just doing this for yourself, you're doing it for your child. So don't force yourself to fast past a certain point.
Yeah.
There's just no reason to do that at this point in your journey. Breastfeeding trumps losing weight or whatever your goals are for the moment. Baby first. And I fast usually 18 hours a day, and I'm still exclusively breastfeeding. But even when, like, Becca eats real food now, but when he was just breastfeeding, I sometimes fasted till 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but that was because I wasn't hungry.
You weren't making yourself.
I wasn't. It was intuitive. Yes. So don't force yourself. If you're hungry, eat. If you're not hungry, then don't worry about it. Listen to your body. And yes, lots of electrolytes, especially salt and water. Here's a good one from Sherry. What do you think about females eating according to their cycle?
That's an interesting question. Is if you mean adding more carbohydrates during certain parts of your cycle or going off keto during certain parts, I don't think that's necessary at all, and I don't think there's any research that supports that. However, I am not a female. I do not have a cycle, so I will let the expert take it from here.
I have done carb cycling, and when I carb cycled, it just meant I ate veggie carbs. Why are we so dark? And then I stayed carnivore or ketovore, and the only difference I saw was that I may have felt better in the moment eating the carbier foods, but afterwards I had indigestion, I had gut issues, all kinds of side effects. So even though it helped my cravings, it didn't help me physically. And so I tend to just eat fatty meat and salt. And after I'm done eating, then I'm not craving the carbs anymore. So that's what works for me. But a lot of women really want to eat carbs right before their cycle. And I mean, that's understandable. That's kind of built into us. I think that's more of a prep for maybe, getting pregnant and stuff like that, and encouraging us to eat stuff to prep for a baby. But if you're not trying to get pregnant, then doesn't really matter.
Yeah. I was just doing an interview with Dr. Robert Kiltz, who's a fertility specialist, and he said something really smart. He said, we're taught, to eat a big variety of food and to eat the rainbow. But he said, look at every other animal in the wild. No other animal does that. They basically do the same thing every single day. Yeah. And that's not boring. That's actually how we're probably supposed to eat. Ancestrally speaking, is you're supposed to eat lots of fatty meat, maybe a little veg. That's it. You don't have to have this huge variety of foods. We think we do. We've been taught that we do. But in reality, that's probably not the healthiest way of doing this, is to eat all kinds of different things. Other than nose to tail, if you're eating an animal, I don't really think there's any need to branch out and try to have a large variety of foods or to cycle this in or out or any of that stuff. I think it's probably busy work.
I want to say, too, when I stay true to the way that I eat and I don't go up, my cravings are not as bad.
Yeah, I hear that.
And when I give in to the cravings, then they actually get worse. And so for me, it did the opposite of what it should do. It made me eat more carbs, and then I felt worse, as opposed to just sticking to what I know and what I know works for my body.
Yep. And
then getting through the first 2 days, because usually the first 2 days of that week before, that's when I'm just like, I want to eat all the things. Why is it doing that? And then once I get through that, then I'm fine, and I'm glad that I didn't eat, a whole bag of sweet potato fries or whatever people are carbing up on now. It changes.
Yeah, good question.
There was a super chat that asked, sorry I missed it, but she was asking when she weans her child off formula, cow's milk, yes or no?
If you can get real raw cow's milk, I think that's fine for kids. Goat's milk is great. Sheep's milk is great. Camel milk is great, depending on what part of the world you live in, up until 5, 6, or 7 years of age. And then I really think you need to start weaning out the milk sugar and the milk proteins, because those are milks that are intended for another species. They're not made for your child. They're made for a camel or a goat. And so I think about the age 5, 6, or 7 is when all of us start to develop some degree of lactose intolerance, and we start to have some inflammation from too much dairy protein. And that's why we're big fans of butter and ghee. It's just the dairy fat without any of the sugar and very little of the protein. I think that's okay. But don't do your kids like I grew up thinking that drinking a gallon of milk a day would make me strong. All it did is, as a teenager, was give me acne and dandruff
and upper respiratory
and chronic upper respiratory crap. So your baby doesn't need milk until they're 18. They will benefit from milk up to 5, 6, 7 years of age, but I would try to get it as fresh from the teat as possible. Yeah, but it also, I think there's an argument to be made that babies do fine with no milk at all. When they're weaned from their mother's breast, they can go straight to solid food, straight to meat, straight to liver, and do great. So it's up to you.
That's the longest answer to that question ever.
Trying to be thorough.
Christy says, can I go from the typical standard American diet, no diet, essentially, to keto slowly? As a busy parent, I feel like it's very hard to change meal plans.
Yeah, I think that's totally fine, Christy. Just gradually over 2 to 6 weeks. Every time you go to the grocery, don't buy 2 or 3 of the things that you used to buy, and buy 2 or 3 new keto things. Slowly introduce those. If you've got little ones in the house or a finicky husband, you can make things that appear to be like what you used to eat, but that are in fact keto. I think that's a great strategy for kids and for childlike husbands who don't want to try new foods. I think that's a great strategy, but there's no reason for anybody to just switch overnight.
Most people don't.
Unless you just want to, but I don't think it's necessary. And it really kind of makes it harder because you're going to go through harder carbohydrate withdrawal symptoms if you just cold turkey quit the carbs. So I think it's perfectly fine to transition slowly.
So most people go from low carb to dirty, lazy keto to cleaner keto. And so you'll start by basically stopping the packaged foods. Start eating whole foods, and it's just looking at what the carb count is in whole foods and getting to know that.
Yep.
Buy a good keto cookbook. The one I tell all beginners is the 5-ingredient keto cookbook by Jen Fish. I've been recommending this book for what?
2 years now, at least.
Longer than that.
Yeah.
And she has so many alternatives to things that we all eat. So alternatives to nachos, to tacos, to pizza, all the things that your kids and your husband are already eating now, keto alternatives, they all taste, if not better, just as good. And that's a good way to transition. It's just by finding alternatives. You're basically just leaving out the carbs, but you get all the good stuff still.
Yep.
Luke says, I've been carnivore for about a month and noticed that my ketone levels are low, 0 to 2.0. 0.2 to 0.4. My blood glucose is 95 to 105. Also, I'm not seeing any fat loss. I'm 100 pounds overweight, and I started out at 515, and I've lost 145. Well, that sounds like
that's amazing.
Amazing.
First of all, great job, amazing job, wonderful job. You're going to have some stalls along the way where your body just says, "Whoop, stop everything." Don't worry, that's a very normal blood sugar reaction to being a carnivore. It's also very common after you've been carnivore or keto for a while for your ketones to be 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, something like that. That does not mean you're not in ketosis. There's nothing magical about being deep in ketosis versus just being in ketosis. What that means is your body's now utilizing those ketones instead of just building them up in your blood. You're doing an amazing job. Keep doing just what you're doing, and you'll notice all of a sudden your body will decide everything's fine and the fat loss will begin again. Great job. I hope you took a before picture and you're taking progress pictures because you need to share that story.
Okay. Jamie wants to know, does carnivore raise blood pressure?
The exact opposite of that. I've talked to hundreds of people doing the carnivore diet online who had to stop taking all of their blood pressure medicines because their blood pressure went back to normal on carnivore. And the same thing happens with the ketogenic diet for most people. They either have to decrease their blood pressure medicines or stop them altogether. There's nothing about fatty meat that raises your blood pressure. There's nothing about salty fatty meat that raises your blood pressure. Your body doesn't work that way. It's too many carbs. Your blood sugar's too high. Your insulin level's too high. Your inflammation's too high. That's what causes high blood pressure.
Amber Joy wants to know, how important is eating a huge variety of organ meats on Ketovore?
I don't think you have to eat a huge variety, but I do think you need to try to include some organ meat in your diet. And the two easiest, in my opinion, are liver and heart. What would you say? Those are the two easiest, really.
I would say those are the two easiest, but there's plenty of people not eating organs and doing better than fine.
Yep.
And also there's multiple supplements now that you can take by pill that are dehydrated organs, so you don't have to taste them and still get the benefits for. So if you're wanting to get the health benefits of organ meat and you just don't like the way they taste, Dr. Berry wants to tell you to grow up, but I'm going to tell you can just take the capsules.
Yeah. As you continue to learn to like liver, you can take a freeze-dried liver supplement. We got a link here on Facebook and down here on YouTube, and there's a discount applied, I think. And you can just take freeze-dried liver capsules and freeze-dried heart capsules. They've got a full line of organs. And so while you're learning to like liver and heart, you can take those in the meantime.
Hello, Bruce. Bruce says, make sure you posted that after your Thanksgiving, you stayed full and were still in ketosis. Are you checking it? I'm still in ketosis. I was ketosis for 4 days after Thanksgiving, during Thanksgiving, before Thanksgiving. I never got knocked out of ketosis. I think that's because I eat 97% meat all the time. So when I did go off plan for that few bites, it wasn't a shock to my system as much as it would have been if I was a higher carb load on most days.
Yep.
So it didn't fully kick me out of ketosis, but I'm in a deep, deep state of ketosis. Most of my ketones are like 4.7.
Yeah.
So my ketones were 1.2 or 3. So they were lower than they normally are, but that's still very high.
Still fine. Yeah. The human body's designed to take an occasional carb load, 2 or 3, 4 times a year. That's not a big deal. If you're eating clean keto or clean carnivore the rest of the time, your body's going to snap right back from that like it never happened.
Bill wants to know, are there any animal products, foods to avoid?
Well, that's a good question. The glands from rattlesnakes that hold their poison, don't eat that. Also for copperheads and cobras and cottonmouths. Don't eat black widow spiders or brown recluse spiders.
Oh my gosh. Well,
I'm just trying to say, there's literally, if you're talking about a domesticated animal, then they're
a wild animal too.
Yeah, there's just nothing on them that you can't eat. Usually when a wild animal kills another animal in the wild, it eats its stomach contents. It eats the gallbladder with the bile in it. I'm not going to do that.
I think they're more referring to things like deli meat, hot dogs, bologna, spam,
processed meat. Yeah,
kind of stuff,
if you can afford, and so maybe, and we'll answer that too. If you can afford to not buy processed cheap meats like that, then don't buy those. Eat real meat. But if all you can afford is bologna or blowny, as we said when I was growing up, spam, potted meat, that's fine.
Look,
hot dogs.
I eat bologna and I eat hot dogs. And here's the thing: if I like bologna, I like it, and you can actually get bologna because I looked it up today because I want to keep eating bologna, but I was like, this has crap in it.
Yeah.
Like this, it's got corn syrup. Some of them have corn syrup, sugar, dextrose, like lots of additives and stuff like that. USA Wellness Meats have a good bologna that's just meat, and I'm sure there's some organs chopped up in there.
Yep.
And then Peterson's has hot dogs that are pure and good. All of their pork is good. So processed meats that come from a place that is reputable and not Oscar Mayer are still really good cuts of meat because they don't have the additives and the sugar and the dextrose and all those sneaky things that they put into those processed meats.
Yep.
There's a way to eat the deli meat and it still be quality.
Yep. Boar's Head makes great processed meat. They have Braunschweiger. They have liverwurst. They have all kinds of good processed meats like that. I think they're fine.
And sometimes they do have sugar on the label, and then the carb count is so low it says 0 because it was in the curing process or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. I announced who won the meat box over on my YouTube channel, and I tagged the person. If I pinned the comment on the 50K video, so go to the video and the pinned comment has the winner over there. So go see if you won, because I can't remember. It was a weird name. It was like LMX.
Maybe I won.
No.
No.
It wasn't you, Ken Berry.
Hmm.
You win the lottery every day.
I still won anyway.
That's right. Turning-net. Lost 85 pounds on Ketovore. I need to lose another 75, but I like my Diet Coke. I find it stalls me. Sweetener. I can use like Splenda or something else available in a soft drink that will be less likely to stall me.
At this point, it's probably at least one of the things that may be stalling you is just the sweetener in general.
Is there a sweetener you think that won't stall though?
For some of us who are just super prone to be hyperinsulinemic, I think any of them raise our insulin. A great trick that we did when we were weaning off the diet drinks is to mix your Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi or whatever you love and whatever you're addicted to. Let's just be honest here. Mix it half and half with sparkling water like San Pellegrino. You can even just use club soda. And you will be surprised it still tastes exactly the same, but you just cut the sweetener in half by doing that. And as weeks go by, you can keep adding more sparkling water and less Diet Dr. Pepper or Diet Mountain Dew or whatever, and until you're just not drinking it anymore.
Also, Zevia has diet drinks that are sweetened with stevia. What's the root beer that Dad likes?
Yeah.
Virgil's.
Virgil's
has a sugar-free root beer that has erythritol, I think is the sweetener, so it's a sugar alcohol. And you can give those a try and see how they go. And you can
Set up in the kitchen.
Sorry.
Okay.
You can do the water trick with those as well, and it's the same thing. So give it a go.
Yep.
And yeah. Teddy says, I've been keto carnivore fasting 2.5 years, down from 300 to 150. Boom. I love how we both did that. Blood sugar is now 70 to 100 and almost always in ketosis as per Keto Mojo.
That's it.
But my recent CAC was 589.
Yeah. Now that's your first CAC, so you don't know what it was a year ago or 2 years ago. What I would do if I were you is just repeat the CAC score each year and follow the progress, which is basically yours. If you keep eating like this, is going to stay the same or actually go down. For those of you who don't know, a CAC score is a coronary heart artery calcium score, and it tells how much calcium buildup is in the walls of your heart arteries. And for most of us, like me, I ate crap for 40 years or 45 years. So if I have a CAC score, I haven't gotten mine checked yet. I need to really bite the bullet and do that.
Yeah, we do.
But if it's 500, I can't even be surprised. I can't be like, well, damn, I've been eating keto for 3 years.
Yeah, you don't have a reference.
Yeah, so you ate junk for 45 years. Now you've had keto for 3 or 4 or 5 years. You think that erased it? No, you probably got some calcium buildup. But as you continue keto carnivore, you're going to notice that your CAC score either stays the same or goes down slowly.
Yeah. Roxanne has a good question.
All right.
And I think somebody else must ask because she says, ooh, good question. Best books recommended on keto or fasting? That is an excellent question.
Yep. So, Why We Get Sick by Dr. Ben Bikman, Bikman. That is
that on Audible?
Yes.
It is. Okay.
I've read it, so therefore it's on
Audible.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's another one that pops up?
Dr. Fung just came out with a new book. What's his called?
It's called The Cancer Code, and it's all about cancer. So it may not be what you're looking for when you ask this question, but if anybody's got a family history of cancer, you need to listen or read The Cancer Code by Dr. Jason Fung, Fung.
But then he also has the
Complete guide
to fasting.
To intermittent fasting.
Yes.
Yeah. And for fasting, there's no other book better than that out there that I know of.
Yeah.
If you want to read a book about carnivore, then Judy Cho, CHO, has a brand new carnivore book, which is amazing.
What's it called? Carnivore Code?
No, it's
Cure.
The Carnivore Cure. That's right. Yep. Dr. Paul Saladino also has a good book about the carnivore diet. Dr. Sean Baker has a good book about the carnivore diet. I think that Keto Clarity by Westman and more, I think that's one of the classics that's just a really easy read that helps. It kind of just explains everything, super basic, so you can get it and understand the concepts.
Yeah, there's so many good keto books out there. I actually have a whole Amazon book list on my Amazon shop page.
I forgot.
Is that linked up here? If you just go amazon.com/shop/Neisha Loves It, which is the name of my Instagram channel too, there's a whole list. It's called Keto Books, and then I have keto supplements and other stuff too. But every one of his favorite books is listed on there, except for maybe the 2 new ones.
Where can they find that link if they didn't write it down? Is it on your blog or is it on your?
It is. If you go to NeishaLovesIt.blog at the top or the menu, it'll say Shop Amazon. And
that's where it's at. Okay, perfect. Yep. But there's a ton of great books that'll help you understand this so much.
Lush Papaya says, I've done keto for 2 years. I've lost 120 pounds.
Yes.
I have a problem with too much stomach acid, though. Any advice? I still need to lose 40 more pounds.
Yeah. First of all, there's no such thing as too much stomach acid. You want to have lots of very strong acid in your stomach. That's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. Now, I'm assuming that you mean you're having heartburn, reflux, indigestion. I'm assuming that's what you mean by that. In which case, as you continue to lose weight, that should get better and better. And I used to have severe heartburn. It got 80% better with keto, went completely away with carnivore. I haven't taken anything for heartburn in 2.5, 3 years, just ever. I mean, it's not even something that's on the radar. Yeah, anymore. Wow. We finished each other's sandwiches.
Simpatico tonight, aren't we?
But yeah, now one thing to keep in mind is if you're doing keto right, carnivore right, and it's not getting any better at all, go see your doctor because you may have an incompetent lower esophageal sphincter, or you may have a hiatal hernia that you don't know about. And a doctor will be able to diagnose that sometimes with a chest x-ray, sometimes with a scope. And so if your heartburn is severe and it's just not getting better with keto or carnivore, I'd go see your doctor and say, hey, I'm afraid I might have something else going on here.
Jamie Rio says, can carnivore help raise testosterone?
The more fatty meat you eat, the more you run fast, the more you lift heavy. Those are the things. And the more you sleep deep. Those literally are the 4 things that will raise your testosterone naturally. For women, a woman can raise her testosterone anywhere from 10 to 30 points with those. A man can raise his testosterone anywhere from 100 to 350 points just by focusing on those 4 things and doing them right.
This is a good question.
All right. My favorite
kind. Wants to know, how can I do keto only eating chicken, turkey, and fish? That is keto. That's carnivore.
Yeah,
go for it.
Yeah.
There's no rule that says you have to eat red meat.
Yeah, you don't have to eat red meat. I think red meat is the best meat you can eat, not just for flavor, but actually for nutrition and health. But I think you can 100% do keto or ketovore or carnivore with chicken, turkey, fish. You can add shellfish. You can add all kinds of other things to your diet without eating ruminants if you don't want to. But I would encourage you to try them.
Oh, Stacy wants to know, should we test our ketones and what meter do you recommend? I think testing ketones in the beginning is a good way to see if you're doing it right. Also, blood glucose, how you're reacting to foods is important. So I use the Keto Mojo. I think there's a discount code up here.
Maybe.
I've been using those forever. I've used several at different events and stuff that they let you try. This is the one that I've stuck with. It has a Bluetooth app now that downloads on your phone and syncs everything up. And it'll tell you how deep you are into ketosis and all of that stuff. So that's very nice to have. You don't have to think about, is this a good number or not? Because it tells you. And so is that a good number or not? That really doesn't matter. As long as you're in ketosis, which I think is anything over 0.5, it's
you're doing
good.
Fine.
You're doing fine. Having higher ketones does not mean you're doing better than other people.
That's right.
In fact, the longer you do keto, carnivore, your ketones may go down because you're utilizing them so well. They're not just sitting around in your bloodstream. So I think that it's a good tool, especially in the beginning. But I think the testing that you need to pay attention to is the glucose.
Yep.
So
And your waistline.
And your waistline.
And how you feel.
And how you feel.
How you're sleeping. How you look. How's your skin.
And you don't need to test, especially that are tested by blood. You don't have to test multiple times a day. In fact, you shouldn't. Once a day, right before you eat. So at the end of your fasting window, that's the time you need to check your ketones, and then no more.
Yeah.
And once you're into your journey, maybe once a week, maybe once a month.
Yep. But for the first few weeks, if you eat a meal and you're like, I don't know, is that okay or not? I think it's fine to check after that meal and see what it did to your ketones and your glucose as well. I think that's valuable information starting off. If you don't have a degree in nutrition, then that's how you're going to learn. But don't keep wasting money on those strips long term.
Yeah, because they get expensive. And also make sure if you're testing your blood sugar that you're waiting at least an hour after your meal.
Yep.
Because that's when you're going to get the most accurate reading.
Yep.
So.
And then when you've got keto under your belt, you understand it, you don't need to test anymore. Gift your Keto Mojo to your little keto brother or sister, and just keep passing it on. And that way it saves us all money. Sorry, Keto Mojo.
I just heard what you said. Dominic says, one doctor told me my thyroid was fine. Another told me to get an MRI. So now I'm confused. Is the keto diet good for thyroid?
Yeah, 100%. Get the MRI. If that doctor thought you needed it, I would go ahead and get that. Because the thyroid is a very complex organ. Many doctors do not understand it thoroughly. So I would default to the MRI. Yeah, get that done. But then also, Neisha has Hashimoto's thyroiditis and had severe hypothyroid symptoms there for a while until we figured out what was going on, and she started eating a ketogenic diet. And keto helped a little, but really what's taken all of her symptoms away is Ketovore or a Carnivore, which she kind of fluctuates between, which is just basically a diet of nothing but fatty meat.
Yeah. Jenny wants to know, she just had a total hysterectomy. Can keto help with balancing hormones and menopause symptoms?
100%. Yeah. Nothing is going to move all your hormones, including insulin and glucagon, back towards normal than Ketovore or Carnivore. Yeah.
No, I'm not on medication at this time, but that doesn't mean at some point I might have to go back on it. I'm going to get older. My body is going to deteriorate at some point. We're all going to go.
Well, you're going to get older. I don't know about deteriorate.
Okay. Well, yeah. Botox. Just kidding. Maybe. But I think a lot of people, especially thyroid patients, want to get off medications because we see all these other people eating keto coming off medications. Yep. And that is not a loss because you still have a medication you're on. Thyroid health, taking your medication, if that's what's keeping you healthy, that's not a loss that you still have to take a pill. Right. That's fine. It's okay.
It's not really a medication. It's a
hormone
replacement.
Yeah.
And so if your thyroid says, screw you, I'm just not going to make any, you got to take replacement. That's not a defeat, or that's nothing to be ashamed of.
Right. Exactly. But I think it seems unfair that all these other diagnoses get on keto carnivore and they're like, woo, no more medications. And we're over here like, but I still have to take one. What's wrong with me?
I get that. You're like, dang, I suck.
It seems like it's not fair, but we're just different. We're special.
Yeah.
So I'm sure at some point I will definitely have to get back on medication.
Hormone replacement.
Whatever. Okay, Pizza Man.
Hey, Pizza Man
wants to know, is keto carnivore safe for your teeth?
Oh my God, yeah. Listen, if everybody in the world went ketovore or carnivore, all dentists would have to find a second profession. The only time you would ever need a dentist is if you got a tooth knocked out or you needed braces, which would be much less common because if you're gnawing on meat, you're going to actually develop your jaw completely. So all your teeth fit. You wouldn't have to have your third molars extracted, your wisdom teeth. There just wouldn't be. If everybody in the world stopped all sugars and stopped all grains, literally there would be one dentist in the state of Tennessee because that's all we would need. Does that make sense? Do you get that? There is no diet that's healthier for teeth than ketovore, carnivore. 100%.
Looks like I've whacked my hair off.
It's beautiful, though.
It's not whacked. There it is. Deb, great question. A lot of people have this issue. Restless leg syndrome. Do you have any tips?
Yeah. First of all, cut the carbs. If you're not already keto, you gotta watch my Keto 101 playlist, or if you like fatty meat, watch my Carnivore 101 playlist and start eating that way. Number one. Number two, make sure you're getting plenty of magnesium and potassium in your diet. Many people with restless leg, what they're really having is pre-diabetic neuropathy. Their doctor hasn't checked to see peptide or an A1C, and therefore they have no idea they're pre-diabetic. It's very common when you go keto, carnivore, your neuropathy or your restless leg syndrome just goes away. We've heard that from thousands of people online.
Including me.
Yeah.
I used to have restless leg syndrome. Is that a genetic thing? Because everybody in my family has
the tendency to have it probably runs in families, but never are you doomed to have it because your parent had it. It's not how it works.
When I first went keto, I didn't notice. I just happened to realize, you know what I haven't had an issue with? My legs bothering me. And then I had a milkshake at Sonic one time when I was cheating in the early days. And do you remember?
Yep. You thought you were cheating, but you got caught.
Could not sleep. I was just like, and I was like, forget it.
Her restless leg used to be so bad that she would have to take a tiny dose of gabapentin at bedtime so she could get to sleep because her legs just wouldn't leave her alone. But then keto, and she's like, you know what? I haven't had restless leg in forever, until she had the milkshake, and then she paid for cheating.
I was like, oh, I'm good. I'm gonna have a milkshake. I mean, Sonic is the crappiest milkshake probably ever too. It's not even real ice cream, I don't think. And I drank the whole thing. I was like, go big. Yeah, I went big all night long.
She was up to about 4.
Yeah.
Therefore, I was up until about 4.
Because I was angry. I was so mad.
She tried to blame it on keto, and I was like, how about we blame it on the milkshake?
I did not blame it on keto.
This damn keto, I can't even have a milkshake.
Literally never. Well, I may have said that. But that is not the same thing.
You totally said that.
Okay. Miss Taylor says, did you say we need to drink pickle juice?
Pickle juice is dill pickle juice, no sugar, is a great way to get salt and some electrolytes in your diet. If you love pickle juice like somebody does, that's a great way. Yeah, just drink the juice out of the pickle jar. I don't mind it, but I don't love it. Remember when Abby played softball? You could buy pickle juice.
You know, I bought
frozen pickle juice for $0.25.
Pickle pops.
Yeah, pickle pops. And Neisha would just eat pickle pops the whole time she was at the ballpark.
50 cents.
50 cents. That's right. But there's nothing magical about pickle juice, but it's a great source of salt and electrolytes.
Yeah. But if you're having muscle cramps and stuff like that, then that you usually need more than just sodium, which is basically mostly what's in pickle juice. So you need mag and potassium. Okay. Vikram? My aunt has optic neuritis. I advised her to go carnivore, but it's hard to convince. Can you make videos on how countries that are predominantly vegetarian are not as healthy as people think?
Yeah, that's a great idea. The two big countries, or the two big ethnicities that trick everybody, are Indians from India and Asians, because they eat lots of rice, lots of carbs, lots of fruits and veggies, but they're all skinny. And that tricks everybody because we're taught to equate skinniness with health. But the problem is that the type 2 diabetes is epidemic. In India, they actually have more type 2 diabetes per capita than the United States does. Like, there's a higher percentage of people who are type 2 there, but they're slender. And so you look at them and you think, well, they're healthy and they eat rice and veggies, but they're not healthy metabolically. They have very high blood sugars, very high insulin levels. They just don't get fat like white boys like me.
Skinny fat. Yeah,
they just get fat in their liver, and that makes them have type 2 diabetes. So yeah, just because they're skinny does not mean they're healthy. Maybe transition mom to keto and say, oh, you're going to eat lots of vegetables, and then slowly less veg and more meat as time goes on. Sometimes it's really hard for a son or a daughter to help a parent with this. You might have to find an uncle who can talk to your mom or a next door neighbor whose opinion she values, because you have to remember, you're her child. She used to change your dirty little nappy, and so it's really hard for her to take advice from you.
Or you can make a video like he asked you to, so he can show it to her.
I think I have a video, but I can't think of the name of it. I know I've talked about that in multiple videos,
Vegetarian?
but I don't know if I have a video just about that.
Yeah.
I do. It's the tofu. Just look on YouTube for TOFI, thin on the outside, fat on the inside.
Doc, I just started carnivore, feeling great. Carnivore for 3 weeks. I want to start eating berries and spinach again. Is this okay to do? And when can I do it?
I think it's fine as long as you
ketovore, basically.
Yeah, you'll be a ketovore, and that's totally fine. But you just remember, try to keep it under 20 total grams of carbohydrates a day. I think that's the sweet spot for virtually every human on the planet. But yeah, if you want to spend your 20 total grams of carbs on spinach and blueberries, I think that's totally fine.
I just want to give Jennifer a shout out because she's decorating her Christmas tree while she listens to us. That is so cool, because I would not want to listen to us while I was decorating my tree. I would be listening to some Bing Crosby.
I would listen to us. I'd be like,
awesome.
Who's that hot chick?
So funny. Ha ha ha. Anyways, have fun decorating your tree.
It's after Thanksgiving, so it's officially okay to do that now.
Neisha doesn't care. Put mine up on Halloween. Oops. Dang it. Missed it. Taylor, is kettle and fire bone broth good on carnivore?
Yeah, it's totally fine. Now, there's no bone broth in the world better than the bone broth you make at home.
Yeah.
That's going to be way, way better. But if you're going to buy bone broth, Kettle and Fire, I like Kettle and Fire. I think they're a good brand. But it's never going to be as magical as the bone broth you make at home.
Yeah, you're not going to get that jelly on top and all that good stuff, the collagen that you get when you make your own.
Yep. There's a small company called Fond.
Yeah,
and I think
I like Kettle and Fire better.
You like it better?
Yeah.
But theirs actually will develop some of the gel on top. But just make it yourself. It's so easy to do.
That's weird. That's a weird comment.
What? Can you read it?
No, I think it would be uncomfortable for some people. Shout out to Robert. He is listening to us running rescue.
Hey, Robert.
What's up, Robert?
Stay safe.
All right, here's a good one. Ray wants to know, is carnivore harmful for a CKD patient, chronic kidney disease?
No, absolutely. Roy? Is that what you said? Ray, sorry. Ray, there is no diet that's going to slow down the progression of your CKD more than keto, ketovore, or carnivore. The lower you keep your carbohydrate intake, and you, Ray, you need to be absolutely allergic to any sugar or any grains or any vegetable oils. You need to treat them just like you're going to have anaphylactic shock if you eat or drink them. Stay away from those three things. Eat as much fatty meat as you want. Protein is not bad for your kidneys. Protein is good for your kidneys, even if you have stage 1, 2, or 3 CKD. Okay? We have talked to multiple people who had stage 2 CKD and they reversed it to stage 1, or who had stage 1 and now they have normal kidney function again. Happens all the time with a very, very low carbohydrate diet that contains no grains and no vegetable oils.
I hear my child.
I hear a baby cry.
Yeah. This is a good question. And I feel like we can talk about several things out of this question.
Ready.
No, he is not happy. Sorry. Okay. He's with my mom.
He's in the closet. It's fine.
Oh, shut up. Somebody's going to call what is it? DCS? Neil wants to know, what do y'all think about Rebel ice cream brand?
I think Rebel ice cream is great to eat on your birthday or your anniversary, Christmas. It is a rare, occasional treat that does taste divine. But anybody who tries to tell you that you can have that for dessert every day, no.
Okay. No, it's my turn.
Okay.
Some people can get away with that. Usually they're 21 and have no health issues. Okay.
That's right.
First of all, we can't put everybody in a box. Here comes my child. Second of all, I don't like Rebel. I feel it's gritty. I have my own ice cream recipe. And if you love ice cream, then I encourage you to get an ice cream maker. I think there's one on sale. Mine is on sale for Black Friday right now. and make your own ice cream. It's better. It tastes better. It's fresh. You know exactly what's going in there. You can make it to your own.
Do you have a video?
I do. It's on my YouTube channel.
Y'all make this ice cream.
Keto ice cream. It's very simple, very few ingredients. It's just the base recipe, and then you can add Lily's chocolate chips in there, mashed up strawberries, blueberries. I'm gonna have to go get this kid.
Get that.
Anyway,
baby.
make your own. It ends up being cheaper too.
And it's so delicious. It's so good. But don't ever think that, oh, I get to somehow I can continue to have dessert every meal every day. That's not okay. You don't want to do that long term.
Hello.
Give me that baby and pick a question. Oh, you baby.
He wants mama.
Okay, pick a question.
Mama. Okay. What's the best way to start the keto diet? I'm fixing to do a video on my YouTube channel. The keys to success on keto, and I'm going to talk about a lot of tips, but I'll let him answer this.
Yeah. So step 1, get rid of all sugar out of your diet. Okay. Step 2, get rid of all grains. Every kind of grain, wheat, rice, oats, corn, quinoa, millet, amaranth, rye, get rid of all that. Step 3, get rid of all of the vegetable oils, vegetable shortening, safflower, sunflower, soybean, peanut oil, canola oil, all that stuff goes in the garbage. Don't even give that to your neighbor. It's poison. So that's the first 3 big steps. And step 4 is to start eating lots of fatty meat, whether that's ocean meat or land meat. It doesn't, I don't care, but lots of fatty meat in your diet. That's the first 4 steps. If you want to add some veg, you can, you don't have to, but then go watch my Keto 101 playlist and keep on the lookout for her how to start keto video that she's going to be doing in a few days or a few weeks. But literally what you're doing, you're not adding anything, because that's where exogenous ketones came from. Everybody thinks you got to buy something and add something in your diet. That's not how this works. What you're going to do is subtract things from your diet that are slow poisons, that make you fat, that make you sick, that make you inflamed. As you subtract those things, you're going to feel better and better, and you're going to do better and better on your keto as you watch videos and read books and learn. Yeah? Did you do this one?
Yeah, that's the one you just answered.
Okay.
Wait, you just picking one?
No, I didn't mean to. Was that a...
I can't read if you're going that fast. Jamie wants to know, can I be carnivore for life?
100%. There are many, many cultures that lived for thousands of years on this earth. The Inuit, the Maasai, there's multiple different examples of entire cultures that just ate fatty meat their entire life. These people were cursed with perfect teeth. They had no cavities. They never had to have their wisdom teeth extracted because their jaws actually developed fully. So they had room for all their teeth because they chewed on meat all the time, even at this age, when their jawbones are still developing. They had beautiful faces, beautiful smiles. They were slender. There was no such thing as obesity in those cultures. And now there are tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people who have been doing a carnivore diet for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. They look great, feel great. They usually look anywhere from 10 to 15 years younger than their chronological age. They look very fit, very athletic, and some of them don't even work out much, but they still look very athletic. So, yeah, you can do carnivore for life 100%. What are you talking about? Is he imitating me?
Yes.
Is that what he was doing?
That's exactly what he did.
Yeah. That's not what I sound like. Hey, look. Oh, what's that? Oh, I got some stuff here he's never seen before. I'm trying to keep him occupied. Okay. Pick a note. Don't stop now.
Oh, shoot. That is not the one I wanted to. You know what? Go with it.
Okay.
Remy, Gatorade Zero. Is this okay to drink?
Yeah, as long as it's 0 carb, it's fine. But just like diet drinks, I would slowly but surely wean down. There's nothing magical. There's nothing good about Gatorade. The tiny bit of electrolytes that Gatorade has in it, you can get that from 100 other keto foods. You don't need Gatorade. Even if you're a competitive level athlete, all you need to drink is water. Get some Keto Chow electrolyte drops, get some Redmond's Relight electrolyte powder and put it in your water. That's real electrolytes, okay? You don't need Gatorade. There's nothing magic about it.
Also, there's better electrolytes
100%.
that don't have the bad sweeteners in them.
100%. LMNT, Relife from
Redmond's,
Redmond's, and Keto Chow. All those are
Ultima.
great. Yep, they're
There's
all
several.
great. What?
Are you gonna answer?
Oh, well.
You can't read it. Would you ever accept out-of-state patients? We don't have a clinic right
Yeah,
now.
we don't have a clinic right now. We're
Yeah.
still working on that.
He used to.
One day, yeah, I have in the past and will one day again.
Can I go ketovore while breastfeeding?
100%. She is ketovore. She is breastfeeding.
I always have been. In fact, I was carnivore for the first 3 months after I had him. I was 100% carnivore, and then I started adding in onions and garlic and avocado, and every now and then a salad if I was feeling frisky. But I never had any issues with my milk supply. I eat a lot of salt. I drink electrolytes, and I literally drink probably 4 liters of water a day.
Yep, you 100% can. You're going to have a great milk supply if you do that.
Take it easy. Keto chocolate pie recipe. Jennifer, I'm working on it. But if you want to hurry up and get it, you can buy the cookbook that me and Kim Howerton have together. Is it linked still? It was linked last week.
I don't know.
If you just Google I think Neisha and Kim Howerton cookbook, it'll probably pop up. And it's a bundle. I think it's still $20 for 2 cookbooks. And the chocolate pie recipe is in there along with a bunch of other recipes. The magic pumpkin bread, the tiramisu, a whole bunch of really good holiday recipes. If you just want it right now and you don't want to wait on my lazy butt, you can go get it.
You need to hurry up and make that chocolate pie.
That is not what she said.
That's what I said.
Well, yeah, I bet you gonna eat it if I make it, Mr. Carnivore.
I'll try that. I'll try that.
Melody says cookbooks are amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Here's a good one. Where did it go? Where did it go? Oh, crap. Here it is. Can type 2 diabetics switchboard carnivore safely? Switchboard. Switch to?
Switch to? Maybe? Is that what you meant? If you are a type 2 diabetic and you are hearing this live, immediately you need to start either a keto diet, a ketovore diet, or a carnivore diet. You will completely reverse your type 2 diabetes.
There's no ice in there, baby.
You will get rid of your type 2 diabetes. You will no longer be a type 2 diabetic. You'll be able to stop all your medicines. If you're on insulin, you'll be able to stop the insulin literally within a week of going keto, 100%. If you're type 2 diabetic, you need to eat keto, ketovore, carnivore. If you're type 1, you need to eat keto, ketovore, carnivore, but work with your doctor as a type 1 so that you can lower your insulin as you lower the carbs. You have to do it more slowly, but a type 2 can jump headfirst into keto, and you'll have reversed your type 2 diabetes within weeks to months. 100%.
All right, guys and ladies, don't forget on my channel, Vlogmas starts tomorrow. A video every single day on my channel till Christmas. And so if you're not subscribed, go subscribe to my channel. What do you got coming up?
I've got a video released tomorrow about the dangers of the carnivore diet. You've probably read a few articles now that carnivore is getting popular. And I talk about the 7 dangers of the carnivore diet. And obviously, I don't think it's dangerous. I'm going to destroy those 7 myths about the dangerousness of the carnivore diet. Yeah. And then I've got some more live at 5s coming up with some great authors and thought leaders and doctors and professors coming up in the coming weeks. If you haven't already done so, if you're on Facebook, like and follow this page. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe and hit the bell so that you'll get a notification when we do those things. Otherwise, you'll just have to keep checking back. All right. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks to our Facebook supporters. Thanks to our patrons on patreon.com. You guys are part of our keto family, and we love you. Do we mean it?
We mean it.
We mean it. All right, guys. That's it. We're out. Thanks so much for joining us. You're free to share this video if you think it'll help somebody's health. We'll see you next time.